If there's one thing anime excels at, it's making memorable villains. Oh, can the land of Japan make us some sadistic and twisted baddies we've ever seen. So many crazy villains that it begs the question, who is the most evil villain in anime? And on a serious note here, this had to be the hardest list we've ever done on this channel. The nominations that appeared on our Facebook page were endless. Just when I thought I was beginning to see repeated names, there was another new nomination added to the list. There were a lot of contenders for this list, but we based our choices on the following criteria. 1. What has the villain done or can do that identifies them as evil? 2. Do they perform evil tasks out of personal gain and or self-indulgence, i.e. do they do their evil acts to fulfill a certain criteria and or because they love to watch the world suffer? 3. How downright selfish, sadistic, and cruel they can be towards humanity or even their own comrades. Oh yeah, we are looking for the most evil of evil bad guys. Still not an easy task, but we think we came up with a fair enough list to fit the evil criteria. So, who are the most evil, cruel, and terrifying characters to grace us with their malevolent presence in the anime world? Let's find out. Here is Anime America's Top 10 Most Evil Villains in Anime. Number 10. Vicious from Cowboy Bebop. Known as a man with an icy cold heart, colder than the eye of a snake, Vicious is a criminal mastermind who knows what he wants and how to get it. He's bloodthirsty, power-hungry, and an ambitious man who will kill just about anybody who gets in the way of what he desires. Wanting to take over the Red Dragon crime syndicate, he felt he could confide with his loving girlfriend Julia and his best friend Spike, only to find out that the two of them have been seeing each other behind his back. Now Vicious has a goal to not only obtain complete power of the crime syndicate, but also to hunt down Spike and kill him. He doesn't just send out cronies to do the job though, no. Vicious knows how to lure out Spike by targeting those he cares for the most, and even blackmails Julia to try and kill Spike herself. Through his wit, he easily takes over the crime syndicate, and by hunting down more of Spike's loved ones, he sits upon his throne and waits for Spike to come to him. He's cold, intelligent, and cruel. No matter his loyalties or past relationships, he'll cut you down if you anger him or get in the way of his goals. Overall, this venomous snake is just downright evil.
When angels are forced out of heaven, they become devils. You agree, don't you, Spike?
Number 9. Onaga Tamaki from Denman Wonderland. Do not be fooled by that idiotic smile and manner. Tamaki is one twisted, sadistic spawn. I mean sadistic as in he is a pure sadist. As the chief warden of Denman Wonderland, he doesn't even care that under his supervision, dozens of prisoners are being butchered every single day for the sole purpose of gathering money. He'll even have the prisoners experimented on simply and mainly for his own entertainment. The one thing that's really unsettling about him is his manner, how he can just keep a calm demeanor no matter what he does to people, and he doesn't even get angry when things don't go his way. It makes you wonder how he treats his own parents. Oh wait, what's that? He's waiting for his father to die so he can have complete control over Denman Wonderland? And did he just sit there playing video games while his poor mother slowly died during the earthquake disaster? Yes he did. What an asshole! A man driven on sadistic pleasure and power, Onaga Tamaki is one evil sadist.
You all know who really runs this place. And Daddy's too busy fending off the Grim Reaper. So, shouldn't you be trotting out your Oliver Twist shtick to the government?
Number 8. Yuki Terumi / Hazama from Blaze Blue. A true menace, cruel, sadistic, and insane beyond any measurable means, Terumi took pleasure in being a giant troll to anyone with a living pulse. Whether for personal gain for his agenda or just amusement, There is no shortage of taunting or provoking to be had. He is quick to kill, or he'll just use anyone he sees fit. His actual background and agenda are very crazy though, as his physical body and spirit have been defeated several times, and he's backstabbed the hell out of everyone to come back to life and get his way. As Hazama, he pretends to be harmless in order to have his comrades not notice his true intentions. When the guise is revealed, however, he comes off as selfish and manipulative, destroying other people's lives and twisting beliefs for his own gain. As Tarro Me, he's cruel and detached from remorse and compassion. Together, both entities work as one, with almost no problems and taking just as much pleasure from sufferings of others as he once did. A two-faced manipulator who's a natural troll, Hazama with Yuki Tarro Me are two bad apples for the price of one.
It's chaotic, which I can dig, but if I'm going to send the world into a truly abysmal tailspin, I need more time. Rome wasn't burned in a day.
Number 7. This one here is a tie for two reasons. They're both power-hungry bitches, and they do sick and horrible things to their own children. Medusa Gorgon from Soul Eater and Ragyo Kiryuin from Kill la Kill. These two diabolic mamas just had to place this list, but since we felt their motives and use of child abuse were similar, we decided to put them together instead of choosing one over the other. Medusa is an evil snake witch who sees the world as a place of stasis, where nothing evolves or changes, hence why she felt compelled to unleash a dark Kishin known as Asura in order to make the world mold back into motion. Like Professor Stein, she experiments on anything, but in her case, it's to feed her obsession with darkness. Her only attraction to Professor Stein is for the madness that sleeps inside of him, something she wants to use for her own gain and self-satisfaction. When you think she can show some love and compassion towards her own child, it is revealed that her motherly affections only come forth when Krona becomes the fearsome killer Medusa wanted her child to be. In order to become this killing machine cooked up by Mama, Krona underwent countless experiments, both physically and mentally torturous. Needless to say, Medusa is a sick and twisted mother who bathes in darkness for her own pleasure.
Fear is a driving force and a creator of order. Because of this, the amount of fear that exists in the world far exceeds the amount of actual danger that is present. At all times, there is an excess of fear flowing from every human being.
As for Ragyo, we have a glorified madam who indulges in the finest luxuries. She is obsessed with power and conformity, only favoring those who are loyal to her, and torturing those who oppose her. She desires complete world domination as she gives her human soul up to the life fibers. This act alone gives her no regard to human life, not even her own children, whom she countlessly experimented on, as well as demonstrated her obsession with domination by molesting both of her daughters.
Your followers are energy sources for the covers now, and the more they resist, the more nourishment they provide. Before long, even your little sister will be mine.
Wow, we have some messed up mamas here. Their motives may be different, but their tactics are the very same. Medusa and Ragyo, two obsessed mothers who will torture anyone for their own gain, especially their own children. Number 6. Don Quixote da Flamingo from One Piece. Nicknamed the Heavenly Yaksha, Doflamingo was the captain of the Don Quixote Pirates, the most influential underworld broker who operated under the alias Joker, a former world noble of the Don Quixote family descent, and is a Shichibukai with a frozen bounty of 340 million berries. He has a higher bounty than Caesar Clown? So that means he's worse than Caesar Clown! He fears few people as he openly taunts Fleet Admiral Sengoku, sits on the table during the Shichibukai meetings, and shows only gleeful interest at the thought of warring with Whitebeard. With his lack of fear and doubt, he has the balls to march up to the world nobles, rob them of their tributes, and blackmail the government. He has never been seen looking with any feeling other than amusement by any turn of events, regardless of whom they affect. Doflamingo loves to toy around with his opponents and victims in a sadistic and cruel way, as seen when he gleefully forced two Marines to kill each other and forcing Bellamy and Sarkis to fight each other and suffer injuries before dealing the final blow, all the while laughing at their pain. During the Battle of Marineford, all of Doflamingo's confrontations have been for the sake of personal amusement as he sadistically watches his victims suffer in sheer agony. Doflamingo also possesses an extremely bloodthirsty mentality, as he brutally punished a gladiator for not shedding any blood for the spectators of his Colosseum fights, and casually licks some of the blood from his gladiator victim off of his own face. He also believes in the existence of an inherent cruelty in all human beings, regardless of personality, that is brought by the excitement of seeing blood and death. So we basically have a maniacal criminal who will use any tactic to not only get what he wants, but to also indulge himself in the blood and pain of his victims. A truly diabolical fit for our list at number 6.
その時に違ったんだ。こいつらの牛耳るこの世界をすべて破壊してやるとな。
Number 5. Sosuke Aizen from Bleach, the former captain of the 5th Division in the Gotei 13 himself. Aizen initially appeared to be very kind, well-respected captain, and was looked up to by many, especially his lieutenant Momo Hinamori. However, this was just a mask to disguise his manipulative and very dangerous nature. Truth be told, he cares very little for his underlings, and is willing to use almost everyone around him as pawns to achieve his goals. He is willing to stop at nothing to further his selfish ambitions, including manipulating or killing anyone if he deems it necessary. Just for his own amusement, he frequently toys with his underlings and controls his minions through acquired respect or fear. His true objective is to overthrow the King of Soul Society. He once told the 13th Division captain that no one has stood on the top of the world, not even the gods, but he aspires to stand on the heavens and end the unbearable vacancy on the world's throne. Because of his superior attitude and high intelligence, Aizen is easily enraged when facing something or someone which he does not understand. When witnessing Ichigo Kurosaki use Saigo no Getsuga Tensho, Aizen becomes furious because he is unable to comprehend how a human has surpassed his own power. You can even say he has an arrogant and overconfident attitude, while having a superiority complex, believing that he is now above Shinigamis and Hollows. A corrupted soul he is, for he feels no matter the circumstances or reason, he is fully convinced that he is better than anyone else.
In the end, I hope you'll remember one thing. Any betrayal you can see is trivial. What is truly frightening, and much more lethal, is the betrayal you cannot see.
Number 4. Griffith from Berserk. The once aspiring leader wanting to be king, Berserk tells the tragic tale of Griffith's transformation from glory into madness. At the very beginning, Griffith aspired to own his own kingdom one day. For one trial to another, Griffith eventually formed his own army and gained recognition from the highest authorities. When his dear friend Guts leaves him, however, Griffith broke down into a depression that led to his downward spiral. He was behaving irrationally and even slept with a princess before wedlock, leading to his imprisonment and torture. He had everything, only to lose it all through his irresponsible change of behavior. A shell of a man who wants to end his suffering, Griffith turns to the Behelit and summons God's hand. The 4 members offer Griffith everything he's ever dreamed of: power, loyalty, and a kingdom to call his own. All it would cost for him to have his dream come true is just one thing: the blood of his own army. An army he not only built himself, but considered his family. Would he dare to sacrifice his own men to obtain his own personal goal? Oh, you bet he would. One by one, his army is slaughtered, diced, and eaten alive in order to complete his transformation as the 5th member of God's Hand, Femto. The only 2 survivors were his closest friends, Guts and Casca, whom he had brutally raped out of spite. Oh, you heard me right. He looked at his best friend in the eye as he raped the one he loves, out of spite. That is just way too cruel. Now Griffith rules a land of demonic hell full of demons and bloodshed, and all because he just wanted to be king.
This is my chosen path. If I let myself feel regret or remorse, it could all slip away. And then I would never reach my destined throne.
Number 3. Johann Liebert from Monster. You want to know how evil he is? The title of the show, Monster, refers to him. On the surface, Johann is a well-mannered, charismatic, and compassionate young man. He possesses a myriad of favorable traits and can easily overwhelm individuals with his seemingly flawless nature. This makes it easy for him to make new allies and manipulate them into doing various deeds for him. Calling him just a murderer would be a huge understatement. With such skills in creating this facade, or perfection and pureness, Johann can hide his true motives with ease. Within this contrived exterior, however, Johann inhumanly delivers destruction and suffering to those who happen to fall prey to his schemes. Even before his tenure in Kindenheim 511, Johann still exhibits psychopathic tendencies, as most of his murders in childhood and adulthood have been premeditated and calculated. Johann has a tendency to make his victims experience the worst possible loss and suffering, rather than actually killing them himself. By that I mean his victims would often kill themselves due to his torturous methods. The man is cunning, ruthless, and remorseless. Not even caring for what his actions bring to his victims, he claims that most of the universe is death anyways, and that to the universe, most lives are just a speck in a corner of the earth, gone in a flash. No one truly knows how he became this way, but there's no doubt that Johann Liebert is truly an evil monster.
There were so many visions I had of the end, but now I'm picturing a different ending altogether.
Number 2. Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. One of the most iconic villains in anime history, Frieza is just flat out evil. Born into privilege and naturally talented with power, Frieza is a terrifying force to reckon with. Without even trying or lifting a finger, Frieza can take full control over any planet he sees and either enslave the residents or destroy their world. It's not that hard for him. I mean, see how he relishes the effortless destruction of planet Vegeta.
Oh my! This is stupendous! Wow, what a great show! Unbelievable, just look at that!
If his subjects are loyal to him, he'll use them in whatever way he sees fitting. But if anyone crosses him, even in the slightest, he'll not only take it out on their home planet, but will make sure they suffer immensely before they die. On Namek, his only intention was to gather the Dragon Balls and wish for immortality, but he made sure to treat the Namekians like they're his own personal toys. So much suffering was done to these people that Lord Guru eventually died of broken heart. He died from all of his children suffering under the cruel hands of Frieza. He's overconfident when he fights, thinking that there is no one stronger than him. When he does face a strong opponent like Goku, Frieza is quick to scream, whine, and cheat to get his way. Remember how Goku became Super Saiyan for the first time? That only happened when Frieza killed Krillin right in front of his eyes. When Goku wanted to spare his life and leave him to think of his actions, Frieza gets even more upset and dares to oppose Goku's peaceful truce. Frieza is selfish, cruel, and ruthless. He'll find a way to win, even if he has to cheat or defy death itself. Shortly after his defeat on Namek, his father and his followers gathered up the pieces to his body and saved him from death. Naturally, what's the one thing he wants to do with his new body? Attack Earth before Goku gets there. That's how evil he is. Instead of waiting for a fair fight, he's downright dirty enough to destroy Earth just to get back at Goku. He doesn't play fair or abide to any honor. All he wants to see is how he can win and what he has to do to win, while making numerous people suffer at the same time. Whether he uses his own ability or cheats to win, Frieza is a self-entitled, selfish, remorseless, and downright evil villain.
Your puny mind never could understand. I am Frieza, the most powerful being in the universe. And you are nothing but a beast, a fragile animal!
Honorable mentions. We had a lot of nominations for this particular list, so much so that it was difficult making a few cuts here and there. So here's another long honorable mentions list for you. And if your nominee didn't make the list, it was mostly because we felt they weren't evil enough compared to the rest. With that said, enjoy. Number 1 most evil villain in anime is... Out of all the villains I've seen in anime, this one is just amazingly evil. You just can't believe what he does, how he does it, and how he behaves while he's doing his evil deeds. Although Frieza and Johan have done horrific things in their shows, we believe this guy is without a doubt the most evil villain in anime.
Achtung! All units, equip your ultraviolet battlements and prepare to muster.
The Major from Hellsing Ultimate. A former first lieutenant of the SS, the Major was chosen by Adolf Hitler himself to execute a top-secret project under Special Order 666. Can we be more obviously evil here? This special project was in order to perfect an artificial vampirization process and create an unstoppable force of vampiric soldiers. Does he really control a ruthless army of Nazi vampires? Nazi vampires? Yes, he freaking does. Although the war ended before the fruits of his labors could be reaped, the Major and his allies managed to escape from Germany and continue their operations in secret. 50 years later, with the latest battalion at his command, the Major intends to resurface and drive the entire world into war. Between his absolute disregard for life, including his own, a morbid love for warfare, and extreme rhetoric, the Major is one of the most ruthless villains in Hellsing and in anime. His defining trait in the series is a complete and utter obsession with war. By his own admission, he loves war in all of its aspects. Even when he's on the losing side or having his own life at risk, provokes nothing but glee and excitement to him. Look at that arrogant smile. He is never without that smug grin. Seriously, he never frowns on the show. Look at him. Seeing his own people slaughtered to death, he's happy. Watching cities burn to the ground while millions of lives die by his bloody hands, he's happy. What more do I need to say about this disturbingly malevolent being? The Major freely admits his own evil while mocking the righteousness of his enemies. Even when he interrupts the Queen's meeting in Volume 4, he openly mocks both Integra and Maxwell's beliefs while claiming that Millennium has no goals beyond wanton destruction and slaughter. He's immoral, insane, and remorseless. While other villains have a goal in mind, want to prove something, or do evil for self-indulgence, the Major has no goal, nothing to prove, and is just flat out hungry for war. For no cause or reason at all, with nothing to gain and nothing to lose, the Major will wage war just to hear the blood-curdling screams of his victims and even his own allies. A psychotic warmonger who wants to watch the world burn, the Major is without a doubt the most evil villain in all of anime.
Gentlemen, all I ask for is war. I ask you as fellow brothers in arms, what is it that you really want? Do you wish for further war as I do? Do you ask for war to sweep in like a tempest, leaving not even ravens to scavenge from this earth? Very well. Then Krieg is what you shall have.
Let me just say, my words cannot fully grasp how evil the Major truly is. In fact, I've only skimmed the tip of the iceberg. I dare not spoil any more information to you all. Remember last year's top 10 list? Top 10 anime to watch on Halloween? Our number one choice was Hellsing and Hellsing Ultimate, for damn good reasons. Go! Celebrate Halloween with the epic man in red and the most evil character you will ever see in anime. Now, wasn't I going to compare the two shows and see which one is truly better? Stay tuned to Anime America.
My friends, I like war. No? Friends, I love war. I love holocausts. I love blitzkriegs. I love defensive lines. I love sieges, charges. I love mop-up operations and retreats. Wars across prairies, in streets, in trenches, in grasslands, in frozen tundras, through deserts, on the sea, in the air. I love every act of war that can occur upon this earth. My heart leaps with joy whenever a soldier is tossed high into the air and cut to pieces by well-placed sniper rounds. And there is nothing like a tank operator using a Tigel 8 to destroy enemy tanks. And the feeling that comes when a soldier runs screaming from his blazing tank, only to be mowed down by heavy machine gun fire, is such an exquisite feeling.